Yeah, that's what it's nice. Yeah, right in front of the bus station.
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
This is City Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, and we're kind of doing the show alone today, so we're going to depend a lot on callers. I have no sidekick today to stimulate conversation, so let's get started. And the only rules are, and there really aren't any, you can talk about any subject you want, anything you want, as long as you keep it within the bounds of good taste. And with that, the phone number is on the screen, and feel free to call in. We already had one call off the air, and it's been a pretty busy week. I was driving around the city checking out a lot of issues, and some of them we've got some action, others I'm not happy with yet, but that's the way it goes sometimes. You can't get everything done you want. It was an interesting week also. We attended Zabava and met a few of our friends down there and toured the area. And go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kat.
Yes.
This is your wrong date, wrong time caller again. It's 9 minutes after your show started that you start calling. Why don't you cut out that first part over there from the old last week's one and just start from the fresh beginning? Because I'm used to watching television and 2 o'clock. I want to watch you and I want to see your new date. But you go 10 minutes into the old last session you had. Can you do something about that?
Yeah, I just got to get here earlier. I was walking around City Hall and I was taking care of a couple of problems, so I didn't get the show started right on time. That's kind of my fault.
No, that's just like every time. I want to watch you, and I watch 5 minutes into your show, and you're not showing your new show. And that one first time I called in, I said, "Hey, Kaz, no wonder nobody's calling you. Got the wrong date."
Oh no! What they do is they run they kind of run the old show until we come in and do the new one. So if we get in here late, and by the time we get set up, sometimes we're a couple minutes late. I'm going to have to get in a little earlier. That way it'll be right on 2 o'clock.
Yeah, well, that screws everybody up because your program's supposed to start at 2 o'clock, and then I come over there August 18th.
Yep. I just got to get here a lot earlier, okay?
I'll tell you, Kaz, you got to do something about that, because then if I keep sitting, there 4 or 5 times I wanted to watch you, and I stayed till 5 minutes after. I said after 5 minutes after, he's not having a new show.
Yeah, no, we try to get her early, but sometimes I have other things, and I don't get her quite on time. It was a little different when I was downtown working. I have to come in from home now, so I apologize, okay?
Yeah, Kaz, see if you can do something about that, because that's screwing me up.
Oh, I can do a lot. I just have to get myself here early, okay?
Okay, Kaz.
You got any problems, though?
No, that's it. Like I said, I like to hear the other people's problems, but I don't want to watch your show 2 times in a row.
Oh no, that's maybe they shouldn't show the old one right before this one too. That might help.
Well, that's it. They say the program's going to start at 10:15 or 10:08 or 2:08 or something like that. Then I'll know it. I can come back to your channel and watch you.
Right. You sure don't want to talk about anything?
No, Kaz, that's it.
Okay.
I know you people ain't getting paid for nothing or nothing like that, but you know it just blows my mind. I mean, I'm used. You know, anytime you go to a channel, its program starts at 2 o'clock. It starts at 2. You didn't start till 8 minutes after.
Well, I'm showing 8 minutes after now, so we're probably off a couple minutes. I agree with you on that.
Well, I'm looking at my TV set right now. It says 2:11. Now, I know I haven't been talking to you more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're showing 2:05 on our phone here, though. That's what's weird, so.
Yeah, well, there's another thing I want to ask you about, too. With some of your callers...
Yeah.
They're illegible. I can't understand what they're talking about.
It could be because we have a... Can you hear that a little bit better?
Huh?
How's that coming in? Well, tell me, listen for the rest of them. Sometimes we have a mic here that's picking off of the telephone. It's not the best technology, so you may not be getting, we're not getting the best possible link we could.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm saying over to the guy's got a legitimate problem, but I can't understand him. I anticipate maybe he's handicapped or something, or he has a voice box or something, and I can't understand it. And then you can understand him, but I can't understand him.
Yeah, we got a pickup mic here that's better than most, but it's picking off the telephone, so there's a little bit lost in communication. It's not a direct hookup.
Okay, Cash. Just let me know, or like anybody else, if you're going to have a new program or not.
Oh, we have one every week unless I will announce at the start of each show.
You told me when you were going on vacation, so I knew that. But then every time I come over here, it's 10 after, 8 minutes after over there, and they keep showing the old show.
I can tell you we won't be. Yeah, we'll be off next Monday because of Labor Day.
Well, I probably won't be here next Labor Day either.
Yeah, nobody's here at City Hall, so I'm pretty sure we're definitely not going to be on the air.
I don't mind that part. It's just your start time when you come over, and then you start. I was about ready to shut you off again until I heard the bling bling bling. Okay, now maybe he's coming on air.
Yeah, don't do that because sometimes I get down here, but there's other things going on down here that it's my chance to take care of some problems too at the same time.
What happened to Bumblebee? He didn't come today?
No, I don't know what happened to him. I tried to call him. He left me alone, so I can only depend on the callers today.
Okay, guys, I'll let you somebody. I want to hear somebody who's got deeper problems than me in your start time.
Well, you don't have any problems outside of that?
No, that's it. It's your start time. I like your show. I tell my wife, Judy, and all that time, Kaz is on, I want to listen to them, and I want to hear the problems that people got to sit here. But I'm saying, man, every time I come over, 8-10 minutes late.
Yeah, we'll get on the air a little quicker, okay?
Okay, Kaz. Goodbye.
All right. And let's see. Yeah, we did drive around a little bit around Zabava, and just general observations were, the old neighborhood looks pretty good, but go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Cass,
Yes.
do you have to have a license to operate a daycare center at your house?
A daycare center?
Yeah, like, they got...
I don't think the city demands anything. You'd have to have the proper zoning, but I think it's more of an issue probably with the Commonwealth. You probably have to have some kind of clearances, and I'm trying to think that.
They got an above-ground pool, and they got 6 or 7 kids over there every day, and they got all kinds of toys and stuff. And
yeah, I would think they would. The city, I don't think, has any specific rules that I'm aware of outside of the proper zoning. But I think the Commonwealth, just like teachers and everybody that's around kids, they kind of demand that you have some kind of clearances. Why, do you have one that you're aware of?
all right.
Sir, do you have one that you're aware of?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it off the air or on the air?
It's off the air.
Okay, you want to? You have my number?
No, just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, 825.
825.
7601.
A pen, all right.
Yeah, leave your phone number. I'll call you back.
No, 825, what's the number?
7601.
7601.
Yeah, I'm in the phone book. So leave a message. I'll call you right back when I get home. Leave your number, okay?
All right.
Yeah, because what we can do, we can check into it. What I'll do before I come home today, I'll just make a quick jaunt upstairs and see if there's any outside of zoning issues. That I don't think we have anything that we require. The state may be another that may be another issue altogether.
All right.
Okay, we can talk about it though.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any city rules on that, but I would think the Commonwealth definitely would have some. When you do child care, there's always clearances and probably rules around that area. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
I just wondered if you noticed 2 weeks ago, Detroit-Cleveland game was blacked out on NFL channel.
No, I didn't. Actually, I was out of town, but on the NFL channel?
Yeah, okay.
Why would that be?
I don't know. But then last week, Pittsburgh game was blacked out.
It would seem like, the NFL is not being very fair. If they say we're a Buffalo area.
Yeah, now
they're
either Buffalo or Cleveland or Pittsburgh, both them games.
Now they're punishing us all across the line. Oh, you know what that might, well, let me think. Was any of those games on national TV?
No.
See, because what they'll do is if the game's on a local channel for any reason, they will black out other channels so that the local channel and the local advertisers will get credit. But if you don't think they were on national TV...
Oh, they weren't, because I checked, I was talking to my buddy, he had it on, he has DirecTV.
Yeah.
And on here, all it is a good thing, it says blacked out in your area. I couldn't figure it out, we're supposed to be under Buffalo.
Yeah, so now they're punishing us for all three, it sounds like.
The Cleveland game, I understand, because it's broadcast locally by NBC.
Right.
And they rebroadcast on that Sport Time Ohio.
Right, but I mean, I've heard in the past where if a game was carried, let's say on Channel 12, and like people had, in the old days in Mill Creek, they had the Cleveland NBC channel or the Cleveland CBS channel or whatever, then in fairness to the local channel, they used to black those other ones out, but you still saw the game on the local channel,
Yeah, but this wasn't on any channel.
Wow, that's... I'm gonna have maybe I can try to check in. I don't know who I'd check in with outside of Time Warner.
Or the Time Warner, but they don't.
No, they won't do nothing. They'll blame the NFL. And
I'm surprised no Pittsburgh fans have said anything in a paper or anything about it, because
maybe I'll get a hold of my friend Jimmy LaCorchek. He likes sports quite a bit, and maybe he heard something.
Yeah, it was broadcast. The whole thing. It says due to regulations, we're not broadcasting this.
Yeah, it seems like now they're going to punish us for all being around all three cities.
I got another quick question that doesn't have nothing to do with the potato chip factory. You don't hear nothing more about it. Are they hiring them anymore? Or?
Well, I heard that the only thing I read, and we don't have any anything to do with that plant. But what I heard was the first phase, when they were making the actual potato chips, they were going to hire so many people. Then there was going to be a second phase when they worked out the bugs, and then they were going to start like popping corn and making the the cheese puffs and everything.
Yeah, but are they selling them around here? I don't hear.
No, they don't. They said that.
Oh, they're not going to sell them around here.
I don't think so. It sounded like they're out of Minnesota, near the Minneapolis area, I believe. And what they do is they sell to like places like Panera Bread. And Walgreens or somebody like that under, their trade names.
Yeah.
So I remember the newspaper did have a line in there, but it may be tough to find them around town if they even, distribute them, because their basic business, I guess, is with these large companies where they, when you buy chips in different places and they put their name on it. So they'll be making chips like for Panera Bread or like Walgreens or somebody like that, or Target, I heard maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, but maybe, they may, they may put a brand out locally, which would be nice, I think,
Like Troyer had there, they used to sell quite a bit there for a while. So
yeah.
Well, they moved out.
I mean, I hope they hire more people. They kind of said they were, and I think they worked through the problems they had with the borough and township out there.
It was in a paper every day, and then for about a month and a half, there's nothing there, so I just wondered.
Maybe if I run into one of the press, I'll ask them if there's anything new coming out of there.
Yeah.
That economic development people might have a better line on that. I mean, it's a good, I'm glad they're back, and I hope, like, according to them, they were going to go into like 2 or 3 phases.
Yeah.
And, more people, as they put more machinery online, they were hoping to, bring more employment. I think that would be great. Yeah, they got to hire truckers to take the product out of here, so it probably long term it's going to be a good thing for the county, obviously, but for the area.
We'll see if anybody else calls in about that Pittsburgh game. I'm sure there's some Steeler fans out there. But.
I've always said, if you look at the demographics of this town, it's a it's a Cleveland-Pittsburgh town.
Yeah.
That's where your biggest fans are, and if you start punishing on that the whole thing about the NFL channel, you pay extra for that. And now they're going to punish us?
We finally got it after all them years, and then it seems all the games are blacked. I was watching the Cleveland game, and they were interviewing people, and it started getting that, like fading out stuff. And I said, maybe, there ain't no storms or nothing. All of a sudden it disappeared. The sign come out saying that it was blacked out. So, but my buddy had it on DirecTV. He lives in Harbor Creek, so I don't know.
Oh, he had it on DirecTV.
Yeah, he had it on DirecTV on the NFL channel, but we didn't have it in Erie.
Maybe you know what? Not to come to think of it, I was taping one game, and I remember my TV said I didn't have. Something about the channel wasn't available. That might be the reason. Because I was out of town, I was taping it.
It was like frozen. They had somebody on there who was frozen. And it was like fading out. And I went to change the channel. When I went back, it was blacked out. I couldn't get it.
Well, hang tight. We're supposed to be getting a new, someday we'll probably be getting Comcast or their Charter, whatever they call it.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm scared about, too. I don't know if you read the paper. On every second Wednesday, they have that thing about Time Warner, and they keep saying that Sport Time Ohio is going to go on a pay tour.
Yeah, my mother's upset about that. She's
a lot of people that are upset about that.
Well, ever since my dad died, that's one of her. She loves watching baseball at night.
Well, they want you to pay for that. Ever since Fox took over that channel.
Yeah, that's the trouble. Like I told my mother, I said, you're not going to lose it, but what's going to happen is it's going to go up to the next tier, and then you got to buy a whole bunch of other channels. And for me, it doesn't hurt me because I like sports and I like some of the other channels. But I can see it from a lot of people's standpoint.
A lot of people that follow the Indians,
Yeah, they may not want all the other coverage,
I mean, that's all I watch on that channel, and every once in a while I watch that All Bets Are Off, but sometimes I shut him off, too, because he gets a little nutty. But
yeah, he does. I used to like it when the other channel, they had...
he knows everything, too.
What was that guy? He was Levin, was it, or... He used to be on the other channel. They had a talk show.
They have a talk show on another channel, Levine.
Yeah, he used to be pretty interesting.
Like 7:30 on channel, let's see, what the heck, 309 or something, 311, something like that.
Yeah, he was pretty interesting for a while. I used to listen to him.
Yeah, okay, I'll let somebody else talk.
Yeah, but it seems like cable TV is getting to be one of our biggest pains now.
Yeah, it's going to be worse, I think, when they merge, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of that, too, because I look at people like, you, my mother, and other people that, they keep trying to get us into higher and higher brackets,
Yeah, because every time I read that paper and it says, these channels are negotiating, the first line they say, Sports Time Ohio may be on another tier. They've been doing that for about 6 months, so sooner or later they're going to do it.
Oh, yeah. They probably figure they got a pretty good viewership, and, they know that because with their computers now, they can probably track what we're watching.
Yep.
And they figure there's a pretty good, they got us captive now, so let's, what's next? They're going to take the Pittsburgh Root Channel and put that up there too,
Yeah. Okay, then. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for calling.
Bye.
Yeah, the endless battle with cable TV, it just goes on, and government has little control over it, in at least local government, and it's one of those things that's morphed itself into, from when I was a kid, TV was free, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, cable TV's like hooking you on coffee or something. They give you a free cup, and then all of a sudden, another free cup, and then they start taking it away a little bit, and you got to pay a dime for the sugar or something, and after a while, you look and you're wondering what happened. All of a sudden your bill's high, and there's a lot of seniors out there and people that for them, it's cheap entertainment, and unfortunately, it's not getting cheap. And, it's little things like, I hear people talking about, they like to watch the soap channel, and they take the soap channel off. They like to watch the Indians, now they're thinking about putting it up to another tier. And it's always one thing after another. They find out what you like, and then they nail you. Yeah, it's just a bad thing. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, it's me again for your last caller. I was down at Walmart last week, and I bought a bag of popcorn. Guess what it said on it?
What?
Sawyer Farms.
Really?
Yeah. And then the second part that I want to tell you is it was on the news. The reason why we're not going to get Pittsburgh games over Cleveland and Buffalo is because Erie doesn't draw enough revenue.
Doesn't draw enough revenue.
Right? We don't make it. They don't make enough money because if they broadcasted, if they showed a Buffalo or the Cleveland game.
Who said that?
NFL commissioner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was on the news last week?
Oh, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But he was calling in and saying, why don't we get the Pittsburgh game?
Yeah, he's kind of an arrogant man.
So then everybody says, hey, we are in between, but we're in Pennsylvania, so we're Pittsburgh fans. And then everybody, remember we had that big thing, everybody call in and find out why we don't get the games, and they black it out. So they had the commissioner said, well, Buffalo and Cleveland has more revenue than Erie, so we're losing money if we broadcast the Erie games instead of the Buffalo or the Cleveland games.
Yeah, you know what's bad about that whole thing is all three of the teams that are in this area are all in the same conference. The American Conference. So, it doesn't make sense. We only get, all our three teams are on one TV channel, basically. And it's tough for the TV station with the NFL rules to do anything. They should allow the local TV station.
Well, what I decided to do, I used to buy the NFL logos, shirts, pants, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I said, after that commissioner made that remark, I said, I'm not going to buy another logo thing from the NFL. I'm not going to give you any more money. I'm too poor for you to show me my football game. I'm too poor to buy your jerseys.
You know what? You sound like an old-time fan, right?
Well, yeah. I'm 71. I was in there from 1950s on.
Well, I can remember when I was a kid, I pulled some of my old tickets up, and they were like $5 to $7 to see the Browns play. Mm-hmm. That was years ago when Jim Brown was playing. And I can remember, it was important then. They were worried about how many people were in the stands and all that. Now it's like they don't really care about us.
No, they don't.
They sell their jerseys, they sell the TV games. You can't even watch it. If you miss the game, you can't even watch a replay of it a lot of times.
Well, the part that got me is the commissioner said, you're too poor to watch the game.
Well, he's got I shouldn't tell you this, but once in a while I take a boat ride on Chautauqua Lake in New York. He's got a big hacienda up there for his summer home. Yeah, I can tell you this. Looking at that, he doesn't really care about us.
Well, us poor Polacks here in Erie, we can't afford to watch our own team.
No, he doesn't care. You know what? I brought this up once. Are you a Pittsburgh fan?
Oh, yeah. My whole family is.
Well, that's okay. I'm a Cleveland fan. But here's what I think is fair. You and I got teams we want to watch, right?
Hmm?
Why can't we buy just them and not the whole package?
Well, here's the same thing too, Kat. I got paid TV.
Yeah.
I don't buy that football thing for $150 a year.
No, I don't either. I go down to my Legion Club.
Yeah, well, if I'm paying for my TV and the Pittsburgh wants to play, I can push a button and watch Pittsburgh play. But the commissioner says, nah, we don't make enough money from you.
No, it should be that if you want to watch the 16 games of the Steelers and I want to watch my 16 games of the Browns, we should be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And, for that commissioner to sit there, when they got the biggest game in Erie that matters is the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game.
Oh, yeah.
And to black us out sometimes is unbelievable. I can't. Between
all of us, Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, what planet is that commissioner on, you know? But, after listening to him a few times, I can see, the NFL's got real cocky.
Oh, yeah. That's why I say that's why, if anything got it certified by the NFL, I will not buy it anymore. I said, good. If I'm too poor to watch your game on TV, I'm too poor to buy your licensed equipment.
I don't buy any more. I made a promise a long time ago that the way the way the NFL's run, guys changing teams and all that, I don't buy any jerseys. I'll buy a jersey with no name on it if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
my son, he'll go over there, and he'll buy a jersey with a famous name on it. I said, how much you pay for it? He said, $250.
Oh, yeah. Is that amazing?
Yeah, you spend $250 for that football commissioner to tell me I'm too poor to watch your football game?
When you and I were young, we could have bought God knows how many season tickets with $250.
Right. That's why I told my son, I said, don't buy any NFL licensed equipment anymore because we're too cheap and we're too poor to watch your team.
That's about what they told us,
Yeah, that's what he said right over the air. He said, you don't bring in the revenue for us. Pittsburgh and Cleveland has more money, so we'll make more revenue than showing your game. And I looked at him, I said, damn. You want to slap me on the other side of the cheek too while you're telling me this?
What'd they tell you? The whole thing's got out of hand. It's not for the little guy anymore.
No, that's when he said, well, you're not bringing in the revenue as Buffalo and Cleveland. And I said, everybody Erie, everybody's a Pittsburgh fan.
Well, not everybody, but a good majority right now. The young kids, I think, are.
You're a Cleveland fan, but if you want to watch Pittsburgh and Cleveland fight it out for the last end of the season, you want to watch it, and they're going to say, well, you can't watch it. Cleveland's not bringing enough revenue in Pittsburgh and the Erie.
I don't know what Kool-Aid they're drinking. They ain't drinking in Erie, that's for sure. They haven't been around here when all the clubs and loaded with people watching the game,
Well, no. When the clubs and all that have to televise that, what do they have to do? They have to buy their service.
Right, and they make a good buck on it, the NFL.
So the NFL's making money out of it. If you want, the clubs have to bring patrons in. So the clubs pay the big bucks for the NFL to be telecast in their area.
That's true. Yeah, but
Kaz, I'll let you go and have somebody else complain for the rest of the day.
When they have the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game, we'll have to get together.
Oh, yeah.
We'll sit across the table from each other so we don't...
Oh, you're going to be outnumbered, and we're pretty big.
Oh, don't underestimate the number of Browns fans, though.
Well, I seen when they showed the Browns fans, these Pittsburgh fans that I got, they're 6'3" and 200 pounds, about 20 of them.
You come down to my Legion Club, and we're all ex-veterans, the Browns fans.
Oh, I'm a Navy veteran, too.
Okay, well, you never want to break up that fight, right? Hey, we'll have to get together in the Army-Navy game, then.
Oh, I'm 71, but I still get into it.
Me too. If I get your number, I'll call you on the Army-Navy game. I'll bug you every day.
All right, guys, I'll let you go.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Always pleasant to have good callers. It's amazing how big cable's got, but the gentleman's right, though. Go ahead, caller.
Kaz, I didn't get to see the end of the city council meeting. Did you have some comments on the parking ramp being built on?
My only comments were, at that point, I just wanted to, I talked about my colleagues, and I think we had a tough decision that night, and the importance of, to the public, it may have looked like, some of us were arguing with one another, but, at the end of the day, we're all friends, and, we all have our opinions, but I said it earlier, I didn't say it at the end of my topic, but I've always felt that I think that parking ramp was in the wrong place. And unfortunately, the plans they turned in that went through the process, they were drawn up on the GAF site. That's how they were approved. They're probably not going to change it now, and but I wish I had been on council a little earlier, you know, when or the project would have been going on while I was on council, because if I would have, you know, when I saw the drawings, I don't think that's the right spot for the parking ramp. I mean, I understand why they did it, but I still think, you know, I'd rather it be somewhere else than on that prime real estate. Do you feel that way, or?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't understand the entire process. But
Oh, what don't you understand? I'll try to explain it to you.
are they expecting to put some commercial retail properties on the surface lot next to the convention center?
Well, let's go back to the ramp. The ramp they're going to put in on the north side of it, the ramp that they're going to build on the GAF property, they plan on putting two different, they're going to put a section of retail there that's going to be set up for about 2 businesses.
On the first floor of the ramp?
Right, but they're going to build the ramp so that it'll have, structurally, they'll be able to put another level of retail there or more floors of parking also. It's being constructed that way. And then if the retail aspect works out right, then they plan on going down the east side of the parking ramp, which is the side that faces Sassafras, if you're familiar with the site. You know, that faces the Civic Center parking lot. There's an aspect of retail that they can put going down that side of the parking ramp also. They didn't add it on initially, but that could be added later. And then when it came up in conversations about the surface lot, that's the part you brought up?
Yeah.
They talked about, they're going to have a, what do you call it? They're having a long-range plan that they're looking at, a master plan, that will address issues on how to use that surface parking lot. And they did bring up the fact that one of the ideas was they may put some retail on that. But it wasn't positive. And I think this is where council now, at least I want to be involved. I want to see the master plan. I hope council will be allowed some input into the master plan.
Sure.
Because I believe that people like you and the citizens, we all have our own ideas what we'd like to see down there. And I think the last thing we want to see is a closed off GAF site. I think most people want it open with some retail, some commercial, some things to do down there, you know. I like the idea about the market house concept, you know, and I hope that hasn't been dropped.
Oh, for the GAF property?
Yeah, there was many things. One of them was they wanted to put the old market house concept, which I think is a great idea because it's worked in various cities, especially in eastern PA, they've been doing it. What do you think should be down there?
I really don't have any ideas. I just hope that some of it will be tax-paying property.
Well, that's what I think what got us about the parking ramp. We were saying that, you know, the retail aspect, the couple stores that they're going to attach to it may be taxable. But, you know, we figured since they already have the surface lot, and that's, you know, that's not taxed right now, why not put the ramp there instead of putting it on the GF site, which now you're taking some of that land and making it non-taxable. I know the reason they did it because there is some contamination under the ground, and there's only certain things they could put there, but I understood they couldn't put residential housing there. That was okay, you know, so you can't put houses there, but you could put restaurants and parks and other things.
Oh, you can put restaurants? Do you know if a marketplace will be allowed, a market that sells food? Will it,
on the GF site?
Will it be allowed on the GAF?
Yeah, the part that, you know, it was kind of gray, but they, when we questioned them, they said even on the contamination, they could put anything but residential. So it seemed to say that, yeah, they could put a restaurant.
Oh, as long as...
But the drawings I seen, they had the market house more towards the Bayfront Highway, which I think is not a bad idea because...
Want it near traffic?
That would grab traffic.
You don't want it too far out of the way where people won't stop and
Yeah, you got to understand like that this is the first step, so, the GF site will be a work in progress for probably a number of years. And what will determine you can have a wish list of what you think is going to go there, but in the end it'll be if businesses think they can make money there or people have ideas that are going to put the money into it, they're the ones that are going to determine what ultimately happens down there. We can say we wish that we'd see all this stuff, but in the end, somebody has to put up their own money to start these businesses.
Encouraging people like Nick Scott, they got to encourage those tax-paying people who are putting up their own money to come down.
Yeah, Mr. Scott's his project is progressing pretty well. He's going to be on the east side of State Street.
Yes.
Yeah, he's I've talked to him and. I'm pretty excited about his plans because I think it looks like it's a good mix down there,
Yes.
And I think we need in the city we need a site in the Bayfront could be that site, to cause people to start staying in downtown. Start coming to Erie rather than just going out to Peach Street. We need something to draw people down. We have a marvelous Bayfront, but we got to start using it.
Yes.
And I think, council's vote was not a vote against the hotel. What we voted on was to allow some public access down there.
Yes.
And I think we're trying real hard not to allow the Bayfront to be morphed into a closed community or, exclusive. The average person, like you and me, should be able to walk down there with our children or grandchildren and, have something to do and walk around and look at the nice things that are happening.
Yes, and was there an article in the paper that they will be able to put in a stairway?
I didn't read that article, but I'm sure, after council's vote, there's going to be some dialogue between us and the Port Authority.
Yes.
And I hope it comes out for the positive that, we got to be cognizant that the Bayfront is our last important asset that we need to develop very carefully. And like the mayor and I think most of council realizes or believes that we want to keep it, some taxes, some revenue flowing through for the city, but also allow some good things for the average citizen to be able to take advantage of the waterfront.
Right.
It shouldn't just be for tourists or gated community type, development.
Right. Is it still unclear that the surface parking area, if it has retail on it, is it unclear that whether it will be taxable or tax exempt?
Well, I would imagine if they developed that surface lot into retail, I would think that, unless there were reasons against it, that should be taxable, yes.
Oh.
I would think, most businesses.
If a business goes for Alerta, then it could be different.
Well, here's an example. You take the rotunda down there, right, down by the bus terminal on the waterfront.
I mean, the multi.
Yeah, right. Now that one, for instance, Greyhound inside there, they pay taxes, okay? Now the congressman's office probably doesn't, neither does, I thought the Port Authority used to be in there too. So they don't pay taxes, but portions of the building where they have for-profit businesses do pay taxes. So you could have a situation where some of the parking lot, the part used for the convention center would be tax-free, but if there are any for-profit businesses on there, let's say like a restaurant or some, or a retail outlet, yeah, they probably would pay taxes.
You get Alerta.
They may get Alerta if it's available, and I'm not sure if that'll be offered,
Yeah.
Alertas in themselves are not bad because, I'll give you the best example of tax abatement programs that worked was Erie Insurance. We gave them a lot of tax relief, and to their credit, they not only stayed in Erie after their tax abatement programs were done, but they provided new employment, economic boost to the city in different ways, with their workers being downtown. So that's a plus.
Yes.
Of course, then we've all read about the what was that factory out on I-90 that took their LERTA or their tax abatement program, and the minute it was done, they left.
Oh, you mean Bush Industries?
Right.
Yeah.
You see, another good idea, Smith's took advantage of one of our programs, Smith's Provision, the hot dog people, and they're still in town. I mean, that's an example of, okay, we'll give you some help, and you set up, and what your hope is that they stay there, and they provide new economic boost through employment and other things, you know.
Yeah.
So all the programs aren't bad necessarily, you know.
No.
I think sometimes if, you know, you have to give a little incentive for people to do things, then you hope, you know, if they're the right businesses, that they stay in town, you know.
Yes.
And that they increase their workforce, which is everybody's ultimate goal, you know, to prime the economy a little bit.
Right.
But, you know, people like you got ideas. Feel free to, like, you know, if you know anybody has any ideas, you know, contact me or any council person. I'm sure we're going to try to get some dialogue into the ultimate plan for the GF site and other things, you know.
Okay. Are you going to be on in 2 weeks, your next program?
Yeah, I believe, I was going to check with Mike, but I believe we're going to be off Monday.
Right.
And
So you expect to be back in 2 weeks?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my vacations are done a little bit for a while.
Okay.
My kids all live out of town. That makes it a little difficult.
That does.
Yeah. I try to get them back in town. It's just, you know, what the way work is and everything, it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Well, I hope Mr. Wagner calls in. I'll be interested to hear.
Yeah, I saw him about a week ago. We were talking. I told him he has, you know, he's welcome to come back on. He pipes in usually at the end of the show when he's got something that's
Yeah.
interesting. We did talk when I met him about the hotel a little bit.
Right.
Seems to be on everybody's mind, you know.
Yes.
But you're in favor of the Scott project too, right?
Yeah, definitely. He knows how to make businesses work successfully.
Isn't it strange? You know, you know, people complain about him, and you seen what it was on TV the other day about the Peak and Peak site.
Oh yeah, expanding the zip lines.
Right, he's putting zip lines in and all that, and he's going, you know, and there he is. I think he tried it. He's got more. He's got the guts I had when I was 21, but you know, you know, he does, when he touches things, he usually makes money, and that's not a bad thing, you know. He's a businessman, and I always wondered why he didn't come down to Erie before that, you know. He had a little bit of business in Erie, but you know, we should have our arms out to people like him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you know he'll make money, and if he knows he's going to make money, everybody's going to make money down the line. You know, it's one of those win-win situations. We need more entrepreneurs in Erie. Too many businesses left town here a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I better let someone else talk. Thanks a lot, Chaz.
Okay, if nobody calls back, feel free to call back though.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Have a good week.
You too. Yeah, the hotel vote, that was a very interesting issue. Hotels on everybody's mind, as is the GF site, the Scott site, and I think general feeling in the public, as I see it, as I understand it, is people are excited in some degree. They want to see things go down there. They want to have things to do, but I think some people feel like they're locked out of the process. And I think my comments at the last council meeting alluded to that not only I'm still getting my feet wet here as a councilman, so I can see that there's going to be things that are going to have to change a little bit. I'm going to have to take the bull by the horn more and not wait for them to contact us. We need to be part of the process a little more. We need to get a lot more public input, and that's where you know I tell people, please come down and you know. Make your opinion heard. Doesn't mean we won't listen. I mean, I'd listen, and I hope that you know a lot of things can happen. People, every person has a different a different idea or aspect. People view things different. So it's amazing when you talk to people, all of a sudden somebody will bring up something you never thought of. Something that somebody else saw that nobody else saw. And that's why nobody, and these authorities or others, should get upset when things arise at the last minute or perceived last minute. The process is one that's long, and not everybody's there for every step of the way. And I think sometimes we as council and we as government have to keep the lines of communication open with the public. And maybe, some of these problems could be solved early. The issue of public access down there, the steps, that all came up. And I think, it was an important vote. The project wasn't stopped, but I think in the end, we all wanted to see that some aspect of the public access and the public in general were addressed. And I do hope that this is the start of, getting the GF property going, and hopefully when Mr. Scott gets his project going, should be exciting times down there. And it's long overdue. We've been talking about bayfront development for years and years and years, too many years. Some communities have failed, have done things and failed. We haven't even started ours to some degree. We've dabbled at it around the edges, but the major thrust hasn't been done yet, and I think that has to come real soon. And just driving around the community in general, there's a lot of work to be done. We have to start taking steps in our community to return our town to what it was. And I had the honor really to talk to a young lady that addressed council who had some issues with problems she saw in her community. And I'm impressed when people say my community. They take ownership, which is what every citizen should do. And she had some issues, but the thing that was really struck me was most of the times when people complain, it's a pleasure when they have a solution that they think they have in mind. And that she had a few ideas of what she thinks should happen. And I discussed those with some of my fellow council members, and I plan on taking it a little further than that. And I think she, like a lot of people in the community, see things as they should be, and not as they are, to quote somewhat the late Robert Kennedy. And that's how everybody should look at it. We have problems, and she pointed out some of them, but with her complaints were ideas on how to correct them, and I think that was really important. And I called her back, and I'm planning on calling her again. And we will be off the air Monday, correct? Yep. Yeah, we will be off the air Monday, just to reiterate. So, as a citizen, don't feel shy about calling us and any of us and complaining. And you don't have to have a solution, but it's always nice if you have an idea how to correct a problem. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, I have an input for that DAF place.
Yeah.
Why don't you put a couple college rental units down there? Scatter them around the city. Have a couple down there. They're close to Gannon.
Yeah.
Will that work? No?
I don't think.
The rest of us are taking a beating in the city. Why don't you spread it out down there? Maybe the mayor will go along with that.
Well, what we should do is distribute around every neighborhood. We'll put one in South Shore, one in Glenwood, one in...
You put some in South Shore and Glenwood. You watch how fast the mayor gets off his butt and starts doing something about it.
Well, they got the same problem to a lesser degree where Lecom is too.
Oh yeah, they're all over. There's some up. I got a friend lives up on Allegheny up in there in Ellsworth. They're up in there. They're all over the city. Barron's got them all over the east side down. They're down off the Bayfront Highway, all over the place.
You must have been reading my mind, because as I was driving down, I was looking at the kids moved in pretty much this weekend.
Yes.
And I was looking. I said they put two at the bottom of my hill, and they had. I kid you not. They paved both. they paved both of the houses, the whole front lawn. And I'm going to check, see if they got the proper permission to do that. Some tells me they probably didn't. But they had like 12 cars in each one of those front lawns, blocking the sidewalk.
Yeah, sure. The city don't care. They do anything they want. Last summer on Lake Pleasant Road, up a little bit, they were paving it. And I called right away. I think it was code enforcement. And know what the guy told me?
What's that?
That's their lawn. They could do anything they want with their front lawn.
But it's strange when you talk to them. They tell you that you can do what you want with your front lawn, but, and the big but comes in, but you've got to get permission to pave it.
Well, he didn't seem to say that, though. I said, well, they're doing it right now. I gave him the address and everything. He says, hey, look, it's their house. It's their property. Yeah. They want to pave their front lawn. They can pave it.
It's amazing now, being a councilman, when you put them on the spot, they come up with, all of a sudden they forget what they said at a neighborhood watch meeting. For one, they tell you need a permit, then you don't need a permit.
Right.
Then you need permission, then you don't need permission.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you start to wonder what the heck's going on, like, well, do you or don't you? If I'm confused as a councilman, what chance has the public got?
What I can't understand is why the mayor and these people, they know what's going on, and they just turn their head, and it's decaying the city. It really is. The city has enough problems in the inner city with the properties going down. We have that problem. But now they're coming out to the outskirts, all these colleges around here, Econ, Mercyhurst, Barron, Gannon, and they know what's going on. They're just driving down the neighborhoods.
Well, here, I noticed on the TV the other day, Mercyhurst had record enrollment for freshmen.
So did Barron.
Yeah, so I mean, now they already know there's they don't have enough on campus. And then the upperclassmen, these freshmen are going to become upperclassmen, they're going to move off campus.
Right.
So where are they going to go?
Well, what's going to happen?
Yeah, so, they know what they're doing and they're part of the problem. They're not part of the solution. I'm not saying it, I've said this before, I can live next to college kids if they act like proper citizens. I've lived next door to renters in the old day, I was a renter once, but we've lost the owner-occupied house, and now we deal with landlords that are a little more than businessmen who don't really don't care what's going on.
Well, here's what's going to happen. I'm talking 5-10 years down the road if this continues, which it's probably going to continue. The taxes on these properties in these neighborhoods are going to go down.
Well, sure, because the property will get run down.
They'll get run down, so the people who live there are going to want their taxes lowered, and it's going to hurt the city because the tax base is going to go lower and lower and lower. But they can't see that. They can't see that. The mayor or the officials who run this thing,
Since I've been in government, I noticed we like what I call kicking the can. You know what that means, don't you?
Down the road.
Yeah, we keep looking at, it's not my problem, the next councilman will worry about it, the next mayor, our kids will worry about it. So, you keep kicking the can, but what you forget is that somewhere there's probably a wall. The can bounces back against you.
I ran into the mayor about 6 months ago at one of the local clubs. He was there, and I approached him on it. I said, I hate to bother you on your free time, but what are we going to do about this? And he told me, we are doing stuff. We put more police in the neighborhoods. And I told him, you don't need police in the neighborhood. You need police down where the problems are with the drug busts and all that stuff. You don't need police babysitting these college kids.
Oh, that's what I said.
They got enough problems, the cops, handling with this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, unless these colleges got either kicked into his campaign or they got something on him, he don't care. He doesn't do anything. Well, he don't want to hear it.
Other towns, even Edinburgh has tried some unique things because they were watching the borough actually literally turn into college town. I mean, not that it isn't a college town. I didn't mean it that way, but literally the neighborhoods, especially down by the lake and everything, were taking on a different aspect. It wasn't like it's only college kids lived there and nobody else.
Yeah, and then and another thing, they're all from out of town. They're from all over the country, and they can care less about our neighborhoods. They're here for 4 or 5 years, whatever. They leave, and another batch comes in.
Here's a good one. You and I, we have a party. We cause trouble. We probably get arrested, right?
Right.
That's all I'm asking. It. You know, they live in a residential neighborhood. I'm not saying they can't live there, but you know what? If you're going to live in a neighborhood, a residential neighborhood, there are responsibilities that come with it. You know, you have to act like, just like you and I would. You know, if we have a party, we know enough to turn it off so that, you know, our neighbors get to go to sleep a little bit.
Yeah, we know a party outside of my house, it ends by 7, 8 o'clock, and if there's few stragglers, they come inside.
Yeah. And you know what?
We don't stay outside till 2 o'clock in the morning raising heck, you know?
Right. You know what? Like my neighbors, they might go a little bit late, and you might hear a little laughter, but it doesn't bother me. That's so minor, but...
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, when you get...
put up with that.
But you get it all week and pounding music, and all, after a while it gets old.
But, you know, I just wanted to call, I want you to throw that into the pot. Put about 7 college rental units right in the middle of GEF property. You know, so we all get a little bit of a taste of it, you know?
Yeah, I think we ought to move it up, though. I think we ought to move it up to the... all around the city. Everybody gets a little taste of it.
Yeah, that's it. Even that. Everybody has to, especially South Shore and Glenwood Hills.
Yeah.
And you'll see how fast we get some rules in this town.
It won't even get set up there.
That's right. Okay, Kaz, that's it. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, yeah, and we got to go off the air, so, hey, thank you for calling.
Okay.
And with that, unfortunately, our time has run out, and we'll see you in 2 weeks after Labor Day. How'd you do out there? Good?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.